Good work by Dakota maintaining balance.
Yeah, it's on such a rise, isn't it? Like it's doing amazing at the moment, and I think this belt, bro, come here, it's for you. I've been crying every single.
What happens when Dakota Ditcheva stands across from a UFC champion? The speed, the power, the violence, it all erupts instantly in this fantasy matchup breakdown. If these two ever fought for real, the cage wouldn't be ready. Dakota Ditcheva is known as the smiling assassin of women's combat sports, a fighter whose calm expression hides a violent and precise style that destroys confidence and breaks down even world-class champions. She is often described as the golden girl of British Muay Thai, not because of hype, but because of the fear she puts into fighters who step across from her. Dakota doesn't simply beat opponents, she dissects them piece by piece until they begin questioning their careers. Her fights are not just wins, they are statements of dominance. And nothing made this clearer than the night she stepped into the ring against two of the most decorated Muay Thai champions in the world, women who had years of experience, titles, and reputations that suggested Dakota would be too young, too green, and too inexperienced to truly threaten them. What followed became proof that even elite champions crumble when Dakota Ditcheva begins her hunt. One of the most telling examples came when she faced Hannah Brady, a multiple-time Muay Thai champion who was nearly a decade older, far more experienced, and absolutely confident she would walk through Dakota like it was nothing more than a tough sparring session. Instead, what she walked into felt like quicksand. The moment the bell rang, Dakota fought like she had been waiting for this challenge her entire life. Brady took her first step forward, and before she even settled into her stance, Dakota fired a brutal body kick that echoed across the arena. The sound of that first kick was so loud that the crowd reacted instantly, and it was clear Brady felt it in her soul. Dakota continued attacking with a relentless stream of body kicks, turning Brady's ribs into a target she refused to stop punishing. Brady's attempts to move forward made things worse because Dakota made her miss badly and then countered with perfect timing. Brady's face showed the shock of someone who walked into a nightmare she didn't expect. Every time she tried to tighten the distance, Dakota either shut her down with a clean punch combination or intercepted her with more kicks. Brady, stubborn as always, refused to back off. She hoped to make the fight ugly, believing she could slow Dakota down through pressure, clinching, and dirty close-range fighting. Instead, all she achieved was absorbing more punishment. When Brady finally managed to grab Dakota in a clinch, she expected to smother the younger fighter, but Dakota unleashed knees that looked like they were crafted by the Muay Thai gods themselves. The impact of every knee shook Brady's posture, forcing her to hold on desperately just to stay upright. The pace was intense, and the champion realized quickly that Dakota did not come to survive. She came to dominate. As the round continued, Dakota mixed punches and kicks with machine-like efficiency. Every strike landed clean, and Brady looked lost, confused, and increasingly overwhelmed. She resembled a tourist who had wandered into the wrong neighborhood, trying to read a map while danger closed in from all directions. Even when Brady successfully grabbed Dakota again in a clinch, it offered no safety. Dakota's clinch work was brutal and suffocating. She lifted, twisted, and punished Brady until the champion had no choice but to break her grip and retreat. By the end of the first round, the difference in skill was undeniable. Dakota was levels ahead. The second round began right where the first ended. Dakota fired kicks with so much speed and power that Brady visibly reconsidered her entire game plan. But Brady, tough and experienced, refused to quit. She kept grabbing, tying Dakota up, and slowing the pace as much as she could. It was a survival tactic, not a winning strategy. Eventually, Brady managed to push Dakota toward the ropes, trying to steal control through the clinch. But Dakota refused to be bullied. She broke Brady's attempts and fired stiff counters every time the champion tried to settle into a rhythm. Brady attempted to slow things down, to find a moment where she could breathe and reset. But Dakota's reach, timing, and precision made her efforts hopeless. The younger fighter controlled the outside range effortlessly, snapping kicks into Brady's ribs and firing punches that landed clean and sharp. Despite the punishment, Brady's heart carried her forward. She refused to let the younger fighter break her mentality. She kept pressing, smothering, and clinching to avoid the long-range exchanges, which were entirely in Dakota's favor. To her credit, Brady's toughness earned her the respect of the crowd and likely a few points on the judges' cards. But Dakota remained in control of every meaningful moment. Round 3 then opened with Dakota entering full beast mode. Her kicks were sharper, faster, and more venomous. Brady walked directly into 2 massive head kicks that could have dropped many fighters, but somehow she survived. She immediately tied Dakota up again, clinging to her like someone trying to survive a storm at sea. But every time the referee separated them, Dakota returned to dishing out punishment from long range, snapping Brady's head back again and again. Midway through the round, Brady found a small second wind and started firing back with more combinations. But the technical gap was still massive. Dakota moved beautifully, landing every meaningful shot while Brady was forced into reactions instead of clean offense. They ended up clinching for nearly an entire minute, trading knees while the referee watched closely. When the separation finally came, Dakota punished Brady yet again. Her outside striking was too smooth, too fast, too accurate. Brady simply didn't have the tools to consistently defend it. Round 4 brought out the deepest fire from both fighters. Brady, knowing she might be behind, attacked aggressively, launching heavy combinations and pressing forward like a heat-seeking missile. Dakota, however, was a master of calm under fire. She slipped punches, countered with clean shots, and used brutal body kicks to halt Brady's momentum. Whenever Brady tried to create chaos, Dakota neutralized her with intelligence and technique. The round became a wild exchange of heart and skill, but Dakota always had the sharper, cleaner moments. The crowd went wild, loving the heart from Brady and the technical brilliance from Dakota. Finally, round 5 arrived. Both fighters touched gloves in a rare moment of respect after nearly 20 minutes of war. Knowing she needed a finish, Brady abandoned the clinch entirely and tried to fight at range to land a miracle shot. But that played directly into Dakota's world. Dakota's timing was perfect, her footwork almost effortless. Every Brady attack was answered with precise counters. Brady tried desperately to throw flurries, hoping to catch Dakota off guard, but Dakota stayed composed and punished every reckless attempt. With every passing second, the fight looked more and more like Dakota's masterpiece. By the final minute, the difference between them was clear. Dakota was the hunter, the predator, while Brady was running out of weapons and energy. Dakota closed the fight by dominating the distance, landing clean strikes until the final horn. Both fighters raised their hands, drenched in sweat after a tremendous 5-round war. The crowd expected Dakota's hand to be raised easily, but then came the shock. The judges declared the fight a draw, a decision that stunned even Brady's corner. But that was only the first half of Dakota's violent encounters with champions. After the controversial draw against Hannah Brady, many believed Dakota had clearly won, but the decision only added fuel to her already burning motivation. Dakota's rise continued, and soon she was matched against another world-class champion. From the opening bell, Dakota fought with a level of aggression that shocked everyone in the arena. She didn't just test the distance, she owned it. She launched a head kick in the first 10 seconds that slammed into Thoas with explosive power. The kick landed clean, rattling the champion's entire body and forcing her immediately into defensive mode. Many fighters take the first minute to feel out their opponent, but Dakota skipped the warm-up stage and went straight into destruction mode. That early head kick set the tone for everything that followed. Dakota pushed forward with confidence, firing brutal combinations, mixing kicks to the body and head, and constantly forcing Thoas onto her back foot. Thoas, despite her experience, looked shocked. Every time she tried to settle into her preferred rhythm, Dakota cut her off with another attack. Thoas attempted to regain control with clinch entries, hoping to use her veteran strength and knees to slow Dakota down. But Dakota's footwork was superior. She pivoted off the ropes, circled, and instantly returned fire with more explosive strikes. At one point, Thoas attempted to counter Dakota's kicks with a heavy right hand. But Dakota slipped the punch effortlessly and punished her with a kick that almost folded her in half. Thoas's face showed a mixture of pain and disbelief. She had not expected Dakota to be this strong, this fast, or this smart. As the round progressed, Dakota's confidence only grew. She landed shots with increasing accuracy, her timing razor sharp. Every time she touched Thewis, the champion stumbled or froze. That moment became a turning point in Dakota's reputation. Fighters around the world started seeing her not as a promising young striker, but as a problem, a real one. She wasn't just winning fights, she was violently removing champions from consciousness. Her calm smile, her light bounce on her toes, and her relaxed walk to the cage no longer fooled anyone. Everyone understood that once the bell rang, that smile turned into a mask hiding a predator who dissected opponents with surgical precision. As Dakota transitioned into mixed martial arts, she carried that same energy with her. Her aggression, timing, and deadly Muay Thai skill set made her one of the most feared newcomers in the sport. While many fighters took time adjusting to MMA range, Dakota adapted instantly. Her front kicks, body kicks, and long-range punches made it nearly impossible for opponents to close the distance without taking massive damage. Her clinch work translated perfectly into cage fighting, and her elbows became even more dangerous inside the smaller space. What surprised most fans, however, wasn't just her striking, it was how quickly she learned wrestling defense, takedown escapes, and ground and pound positioning. Most strikers transitioning from Muay Thai struggle with MMA grappling, but Dakota embraced it. Every fight showed improvement. Soon, fighters who thought they could bully her with grappling found themselves punished with knees, reversed positions, and clean strikes on the break. Her fight IQ evolved at an absurd pace, and the confidence she developed from dismantling world champions in Muay Thai carried over beautifully. But with every dominant performance, the disrespect kept coming. New opponents repeated the same tired storyline. Dakota was overhyped, not tested, too young, protected, or not ready for real competition. They mocked her smile, her confidence, and her calm persona. What they didn't realize was that this exact behavior was the spark Dakota thrived on. She never responded with trash talk. She never raised her voice. She never showed emotion. She simply waited for the cage door to close, and the moment it did, she flipped the switch. She became the same destroyer who once knocked out world champions with ruthless efficiency. Opponents soon learned the truth. Dakota Ditcheva is a nightmare for anyone who believes her calmness equals weakness. She is a fighter who evolves quickly, adapts instantly, and strikes with a level of violence that catches world champions off guard. Whether in Muay Thai rings or MMA cages, Dakota remains a silent assassin, one who doesn't need to talk, brag, or intimidate. She lets her performance break spirits, humble champions, and remind the world that technique, discipline, and quiet confidence are far more dangerous than loud egos. Dakota's past encounters with elite fighters, especially the violent dismantling of champions like Lisa Thewis, are now chapters in a story that continues to grow. With every fight, she carves deeper into her legacy, and every time someone doubts her, it only makes the ending more brutal. Dakota Ditcheva has proven one thing over and over. When a champion challenges her, things get violent fast.